Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Heart to Heart talk. I'm John Kuert, the interim pastor at First Assembly, and each day I've been sharing a short devotional message, a little inspirational thought that hopefully can be a blessing to you and help you in these days when we are kind of all locked in quarantine in our homes and can't get out very much. So I'm coming to you this way. And I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're blessed by it. Today we're looking at Luke chapter 5. I'm not going to read the whole passage of Scripture, but if you'd like to read it, you can do that on your own. But as word began to spread about Jesus, the crowds began to come to hear his teaching and see his power and bring healing to their lives. Luke 5 gives that account of a certain day when Jesus was teaching in a house, and a bunch of Pharisees and teachers of the law came from all over Galilee. And as you read the story, it's obvious that the place was filled to overflowing with people. And while he was teaching, it says that there were some men who brought a friend of theirs who was paralyzed to Jesus so that he could heal him. But there were too many people for them to get through, and so this man and his friends had to figure out a different way to get the man to Jesus. They had such faith and determination that they were not going to be denied. And in verse 19, it says that when they could not find how they might bring him in because of the crowd, they went up on the housetop and let him down with his bed through the tiling into the midst before Jesus, right through the ceiling. And when Jesus saw their faith, he first of all told the man that his sins were forgiven. And then Jesus demonstrated his power and authority by healing the man and spoke those familiar words, "Take up your bed and walk." That crippled man got up and walked home that day, healed spiritually and physically. But none of that would have happened had it not been for the unsung heroes of this story. I'm talking about the four men who carried the paralyzed man and then went the second mile by figuring out a way to get the man down through the roof to Jesus. And I think this story of the paralyzed man and his friends is a beautiful illustration of fellowship, which we're emphasizing this week. In fellowship, if fellowship is caring and sharing together on a deep level of friendship, these men were fellowship personified. They became his legs and carried him. They were his arm that lifted him up and then gently lowered him into the presence of Jesus so that a great miracle could take place in that paralyzed man's life. And that's what fellowship is all about. It's not just a warm, fuzzy social time of friends before or after church or having coffee and donuts with some people that we know. It's being there for others and loving and caring in the valleys of everyday life, even if it means sacrifice until we're together on the mountaintop again. The scripture passage doesn't say it, but I can't imagine that those five men didn't walk home together. I can see them walking into the sunset, high-fiving one another and praising God all the way. And without a doubt, I'm sure their friendship and fellowship continued stronger than ever. I pray that we will give ourselves to that same kind of fellowship that prays and cares for one another and loves one another so very deeply. In these days, we especially need to reach out to one another. I know we can't do it maybe in person, but you can send a card or a letter or an email or make a call and just tell someone you're praying for them, you're listening to them, or just give them an encouraging word. There's all kinds of ways if we'll be creative, like those men were creative when they wanted to get that friend of theirs into the presence of Jesus. So let's do that. let's draw closer together in fellowship. And I pray that as people of First Assembly, there's always a great church of great fellowship. I remember being here, several years ago, and we always had such a wonderful time of fellowship. We had fun, and we had a lot of laughs, but there was also a deep caring, and I think that thread still runs very deeply through this congregation. So let's show it, especially in these days, and let's let the world know what real fellowship is all about. Well, that's it for today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Have a great day and rest of the week. God bless.